loud, right, bud?
Yep. So my name is Jacob Munn. I am here to introduce my grandfather, Shane Lloyd. He was in the Vietnam War. He was in the Navy for 23 years. He was born in South Dakota. He joined the Navy when he was 17 years old. My grandpa was on the USS Nimitz, which was a nuclear aircraft carrier. He has traveled to many places because of his time in the Navy. However, during the war, a dangerous chemical called Agent Orange was used, and my grandpa was exposed to highly toxic chemicals that are linked to cancer, birth defects, and other disabilities. He is here today to tell you his experience and to answer questions in the Navy. Shane Lloyd is a war veteran, and he's my grandpa. Please welcome Shane Lloyd.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Shane Lloyd, Chief Petty Officer, United States Navy. You can all call me Chief, except you. You call me Grandpa. I spent 23 years in the Navy. When I got out of high school, I didn't have a clue what I wanted to do. So I walked in the recruiting office and said, I'm working part-time in a car wash. Have you got anything better than that? And the guy said, yeah, I'll sign right here. I'm 18 years old. I'm sitting on the beach in Hawaii, on our way to Japan, Hong Kong, the Philippines. I said, I like this Navy. And then, after 3 years going through the Orient, they sent me to Europe. My 23 years in the Navy, I visited 17 different countries in 41 of the states. Maybe someday I'll finish. My last ship was the USS Nimitz. Jacob,
Yes.
front and center. Make sure that each one of the students get one. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
My last ship was the USS Nimitz, nuclear power aircraft carrier. 1,092 feet long. How many of you know how long is a football field? 100 yards. 50 each way. The Nimitz is bigger than 3 football fields put together. We had 1,092 feet to keep clean. 82 aircraft. We had our own doctors, our own dentists. We had people that did their laundry. Guess what you get to do? Clean toilets for 5,000 people. Where are we going to get our? We have to have food. We have to have jet fuel for the aircraft. They bring those on. Now water, we suck up the ocean water and we clean it out. And we use that water for bathing, for cooking, to launch the aircraft. We do it all from there. When I left the Nimitz,
Chief, do you want these?
when I left the Nimitz, we had, in our squadron, we had 14 pilots, 6 of them were women. And they were better than the men. They really knew how to fly. Now, I'm here for some questions. If you have a question, raise your hand. And Ellen, are you raising your hand?
Yeah.
We're gonna do it right, all the way up. Yes, Jake.
What was your position in the Army minutes? Like, what was your role?
Well, I was a personnel man. I kept track of the squadron I was in. I kept track of their flight records, their training records, their pay records. I was part of an aircraft unit, but I didn't have anything to do with the airplane. I just did all the paperwork. And that really worked out good for me because I didn't have to stay. If you're working on the aircraft for aviation maintenance, you're always going to be with the aircraft. But I didn't have those restrictions. I can go anywhere to keep the training records, the pay records, their personal records. When I left Vietnam, I went to Alaska, which is a little bit different, you know, about 100 degrees different. And, come on, get some questions up here.
How many people were on the minutes?
There are 5,000 people out there. Now, we work 3 shifts a day, just like they do over here at Milan.
What position did you hold in Vietnam?
In Vietnam, I was on a riverboat. The North Vietnam kept sending ammunition and weapons down the rivers. And so our position was to stop that. And so that's what we did all day and all night, patrol the river.
How many planes could fit on it? How
On
many
the
planes?
limits,
Yeah.
we had 82 aircraft. Now that goes from, if you look at you see the aircraft right in the middle? It's got a big dish on top. That's a spy plane. They fly out there and they get all kinds of pictures and the rest of them are jet fighters. But we also had helicopters. Anytime we have our crews out flying, we have the helicopters ready in case there's a problem. We want to be able to pull the pilots out of the water.
Has there ever been a problem where the helicopter was necessary?
I'm sorry, did you hear that?
Has there ever been a problem where the helicopter was necessary to come in?
Yes. Now, if you look at the picture, you will notice over on the right side, you see the little white. And that's the side. The picture there shows the aircraft. We can launch 4 aircraft at a time. 2 off the side, 2 off the main. Those that are launched off the side go off to the left. Those that are launched off the main one, as soon as they shoot them off, they turn to the right. We can launch 4 aircraft at a time. It gets kind of noisy. Yes, ma'am.
What is the thing in the picture on the USS Nimitz? The thing that sticks up from the left row of airplanes.
Are you talking? That?
Yeah.
That's where the captain of the ship is called the tower. The captain is in there People, the commanding officers of the flight squadrons that are currently in the air, the people that are steering the ship are in there. That's the tower. And I used to go up there. It's on what we call the 09 level, way up there. And if you had your Mickey Mouse ears on, you could go out there and watch them launch aircraft. That was kind of cool. But you better have your Mickey Mouse ears on or you're going to be deaf when you leave there.
You know why they call it the Nimitz?
The Nimitz, Chester W. Nimitz was a Navy admiral. And there's a lot of ships named after the former presidents and that. But Admiral Nimitz was in charge of a lot of the Navy forces over in Vietnam. And when he died, they just thought it'd be nice to name a aircraft carrier after him.
Was there ever a time where you didn't want to be in the Navy anymore?
No, I don't think so, because my first 3 years, I'm floating around the Orient, learning new foods, seeing all the world. When my 3 years were done, going back and forth to the Orient, I said, I'll stay for 2 more if you send me to Europe. I haven't seen Europe. I'm from South Dakota. I've barely seen Iowa. Yeah. And my skipper said, they're not going to give that to you. If you re-enlist for 4 years, you might. But 2 years, they're not going to give that to you. So I ordered, Naval Air Station, Sigonella, Sicily. So you know where Sicily is?
That is Italy?
You know where Italy is? It's in Europe. Italy is shaped like a boot. And at the bottom of the boot, there's a big island called Sicily. And I think that's where they came up with soccer, looking at the boot and the ball. But I went over to Sicily for 2 years. And a couple of my buddies, we bought Euro passes. We went to Spain, France, England. So that was cool.
Why is there a CV?
Well, that's the number. It's a carrier, nuclear, that's the number. Now, since then, there are, if I can find them here. Here. Since the Nimitz, we have the Eisenhower, we have the Carl Vinson, we have the Theodore Roosevelt, the Abraham Lincoln, the George Washington. So there's been a lot of carriers after that. Ronald Reagan. So after I came back from Sicily, where do I want to go? Well, I like the Orient more than I did Europe. You know, it was just more exciting. So I want to go to the West Coast. So when it's time to go to sea again, I can go. So they sent me Phoenix, Arizona. So I spent 3 years in Phoenix. Then I went to Vietnam. Then I went to Alaska for 2 years. Omaha, Nebraska, Jacksonville, Florida, Charleston, South Carolina, and I retired at the submarine base in Groton, Connecticut. So they did a lot of traveling for me. Yes, young lady.
Did you, when you were working on the Nimitz, did you ever have to be one of the people that had to clean the deck?
No, because I had enough time in the Navy and got enough stripes that I didn't have to do that. But every squadron, when you go aboard the Nimitz, your squadron is given several spaces for sleeping and a couple of bathrooms. Your squadron is the one that has to keep them clean. And so it's always the junior people. And that's cleaning toilets all day long. That makes you want to make sure that you get some stripes and get up, so you don't have to do that anymore.
While you were on the Nimitz, did it ever get attacked?
No. We were coming back from the second, no, the first cruise. And the Nimitz had a little program. When we left Rota, Spain, they would allow, let's say Jacob here, if he wanted to bring his father over to Spain, they could ride the ship back with us. And so we could only let so many go because they could only receive that many back. So they would fly over to Spain, go to Spain, and then when we took off, a lot of the kids had their fathers, their grandfathers, their uncles. Yeah. So we're coming, we left go to Spain, and we're having a big barbecue on deck. And these were the old-fashioned charcoal grills. And we're gonna have steak. We've been eating this canned MREs for a long time. So we're having this great big barbecue on deck, and a bunch of civilians, you know, fathers and stuff. All of a sudden, we had some enemy aircraft headed our way. Everything just went over the side. And we had to launch some F-14. And it was a Russian plane just coming over, taking pictures. But then we had to eat leftovers that night.
What was your favorite country that you ever been to when you were in Nimitz?
Outside the United States?
Yeah.
I liked Sicily. But I got to know that place a lot longer, because when we would come into port, we'd be there maybe 3 days, and then we'd go to sea again. Every port I went to, I learned something. I've been to Israel. I visited the spot that they think Jesus was buried in. I was in Morocco, and we went out in the desert, and they had a big thing when you ate. Everybody sits on the ground and around this big circle. So there's a lot of countries, but I think the country I really enjoyed most was probably Sicily, because I was there for 2 years. It was great. But I didn't go to any country I didn't like. But I never left.
Did you say we went to Jerusalem?
Yes. And every time we went someplace, because this was a new, big, super nuclear aircraft carrier, every time we visited a port, important people came aboard. We went to Spain, King Juan Carlos and Queen Sophia come aboard. Well, what do? We got a king and a queen. We take them out for a ride and give them an air show. And the pilots get the helicopters drop flares in the water. And here comes the F-14, and they get to pull the trigger, but they're just shooting water. But the pilots love that. They actually get to pull the trigger. But every place we went, the important people in that country would come out to see that new ship.
What was your favorite part about being here?
My favorite one.
Part about being here?
Well, I hate to say it wasn't that I'm fighting a war and keeping America. It was exciting visiting all the different countries. And I kept getting extra stripes, making more money, get to go more places. And the Navy, being military, when you apply for a government job, you get extra points. And that's what helped me get into immigration. After I got off the limits, I went into law enforcement. I was a local cop down in Connecticut. And then immigration was hiring up here. So I applied for that. Got to come up here and did another 20 years with immigration. Well, I get a retirement check from the Navy, a retirement check from immigration, and I'm an old doctor, I get Social Security. So that helps. But I'm not sure. I have 7 kids. Every time I want to see, I come back with another kid. So after 7, I'm not going to see anymore. Come on.
When you worked with the law enforcement, what kind of stuff did you have to do?
I can't hear you, Jay.
When you worked with the law enforcement, what kind of stuff did you have to do?
Well, I went through State Police Academy training in Connecticut, and I worked on submarine base there, just local law enforcement. But then when I joined immigration, I had 18 weeks down at the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center in Glencoe, Georgia. That was a pain in my lower back.
Now you went to Vietnam as was your first assignment, wasn't it? Was your first assignment in Vietnam?
No.
No.
When I joined the Navy, I went from Sioux Falls, South Dakota to San Diego, California.
Yeah.
And that's where my boot camp was. I didn't know there was other states outside. And then when I got my orders, it was Heavy Attack Squadron 4 would be out in Washington. So I went up to the state of Washington and joined the squadron up there. We were there about 6 months, and the whole squadron came back down to San Diego. We got on the USS Ticonderoga, an old World War II carrier, and went to the Army. And then when we came back, I got transferred to the USS Fort Marion, amphibious assault ship. World War II. Wouldn't happen. Dropping the Marines on the beach anymore. I made one trip on that over to Vietnam. And then from Vietnam I went to Adak, Alaska. Adak is 1,400 miles out in the Aleutians. Way out in, and the only thing was that Adak was a naval air station. There was no town or anything. But that was kind of neat. Because I ate Alaska king crab and halibut all the time. And then from there, I got transferred to Omaha, Nebraska for recruiting duty. We drove from Anchorage, Alaska to Omaha. I had 2 kids by that time. One was still a baby. And a mother. And we had a little dog named Charlie, and my wife and I. And we drove it in a Volkswagen Beetle. He was a terrier. Little terrier. And I told my wife, Charlie can ride with me up front. The Volkswagen Beetle is not very big. And then you can ride in the back with the 2 kids. And my wife said, no way. But it ended up being that because Charlie would jump on one of the kids and wake them up and they're crying. So Charlie came up front with me. My wife was in the back with the 2 kids. And we drove from Anchorage, Alaska to Omaha, Nebraska. Shortly after Omaha, we got a bigger car. Yes, sir.
We have an election coming up next week. When you're serving, did you and a new president would come into office? Did that change anything for you as a serviceman?
If they change the rest of the regulations and the rules, but normally no. But whatever is handed down, Department of Defense, that's what we do. Yes, dear.
When they asked earlier why you had, or if the aircraft had ever been attacked, and you said no, but that Russian plane, and you had to throw everything overboard. Why did you have to throw it overboard? Because you like
Because
stole
we
it
didn't
somewhere?
know. All our radar and stuff picked up was a Russian aircraft headed our way. We didn't know what kind it was. It ended up being just a big snoop plane. But we couldn't take that chance. Yes.
What made you want to sign up for the Navy to be in the Navy?
But I didn't have any idea what I wanted to do. I'm in South Dakota. I was in a boys' ranch. I came from a broken family. And we went from foster home to foster home. And then the McCrossin Boys Ranch opened up. And me, my brother, and there were 5 of us placed there when it opened. And that was the best thing that ever happened to us. They had some discipline, but they had a lot of love for kids too. And I didn't have any clue what I wanted to do. So, yes, sir.
So when you were on boat and then with the Washington airplane, was there like a no-fly zone in place that when the aircraft carrier that any other like countries that are not allowed to fly over was the aircraft carrier?
Well, that's international space. We're not in our own protected waters. We're crossing the Atlantic Ocean in that open space. It's just that we didn't know what aircraft was coming, what their intent was, or any of that. When is this class over?
We have plenty of time.
Okay,
Yeah.
because that was a problem. Yes, ma'am.
What did you guys do to the Russian plane that flew over?
We took pictures of our F-14 were flying right beside them. And we have pictures of them taking pictures of us.
You know why the Russian planes were taking pictures?
Well, the Nimitz was a brand new ship. And they wanted to see it. And they could look down and see what kind of The U.S. and the Russians for many, many years, and they got to snoop at each other.
So did you ever, and I'm sure I missed it, but were you ever on the Nimitz when it was in battle?
No, that was never, but when the launch aircraft
Right.
to go and deliver some of our merchandise.
Yeah.
But the Nimitz itself, we were never,
So you guys, you ever heard the word Cold War?
Yeah.
And that's when the Soviets and the U.S. were really big on spying on each other and taking pictures. And I think the Nimitz was probably right in the middle, had a lot of pictures taken of it at the time.
I think that's probably still going on.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Why would they want to take a picture from above? They would only see the top part of it, not what really making it work.
Well, if you look at this, you're looking down, you can see how many aircraft I have, what kind are they? Yeah. Yeah.
Is throwing everything overboard, what do you mean by that?
We took the grills, they got the charcoal, they put the steaks in. When they launched and saw the battle station, they picked up the grills and everything to go there. We didn't have time. We had to clean that flight deck off and get the aircraft out there in position, launch them, so they can escort that Russian ship, that Russian aircraft. So we just threw everything. Yes.
How did your battle person know it was a Russian aircraft? How did they know it wasn't one of you guys' aircrafts?
All right. That plane sitting in the middle there is a Snoop plane. And we always have them in the air. And when they picked up that aircraft, they knew it was a Russian one. They probably were watching it, but when it got on a track to us, that's when they decided to go to battle station. I'll be right there.
Were you scared when you're out in the sea? Cause I know how most people they'll post stuff fake, like giant sharks in the sea and that stuff, but they're not real, like that, because you drew off the bait to attract fish.
No, I was never scared. I'm going on a big ship. Yeah, I'm not going on something over here in Lake Champlain. No. But when I was down at Fort Marion, that's the old World War II amphibious assault ship. It has a round bottom. And even though the waters over in Vietnam are not real, big blades and stuff, being a round bottom, I guess. So my friends in the supply department gave me my own bucket with my name engraved on it. But I never got sick on the limits or anything.
So exactly how much damage could this Russian plane coming up with a Snoop plane have done to you guys? Like with the pictures, what could they have done with the pictures that could affect you guys in an end?
Well, if they were to drop a bomb in the middle of that flight deck, you could kiss it goodbye. Because the nuclear power station got going. And it would blow that whole aircraft carrier. The right type of bomb.
Is the Nimitz still up and running today?
Absolutely. Yes. Now you can, when you are at home and after you've got all your homework done, you can Google the numbers. Okay, anything you want to know about it.
You can see right behind them, that's what I did before Shane get up there. There's all kinds of pictures, there's all kinds of facts about it. It's pretty impressive.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you like the minutes?
How much I like it? 10. Because the first cruise on the Nimitz was what we call the maiden voyage. She had just been commissioned. She had not been on assignment yet. And so when our aircraft carrier, when we went down from Jacksonville, Florida, to Norfolk, Virginia, that's where she was on. There, every squadron sent their own planes down there and stuff. And being a brand new ship, it was good. I think the Nimitz again is that.
Or would you prefer if, like, one of us, if most people in this room wanted to join, what would you prefer?
I prefer you further your education. Get a good education. If you still want to go in the military, that's great. But don't quit school. Study hard, get good grades. The Naval Academy, West Point, you know.
What year did you join the Navy?
1960 until 1983. So how old do you think I am?
60.
73. Huh? See?
Oh, yeah.
You forgot to.
How many planes, if any, crashed while you were on the ship?
We didn't lose any of the first cruise. We lost 2 on the second cruise. Both of them were pilot related. We didn't think nobody sent rockets after us or anything. But when he came in, he hit too hard. And he bounced over the cable. Went off. And when the aircraft are coming in, they're all coming in on the side, not on the main one. Because if you somehow miss the cable, you can turn on fly out. And if you miss the cable and there's something wrong with the aircraft, it's going to go over the side, but at least the ship is not going to run over it. And that's what happened. Both of those were pilot errors, and they hit hard. One who caught fire and exploded on the flight deck. I'll get back to you quickly.
I understand you're out at sea for like a while at a time without seeing land. How was that, like, not seeing land for ages?
That makes you really appreciate the port when you come in. Yeah. I was always glad to get underway again because I'm going to another port. Spain, Italy, Hong Kong. Hong Kong is one of my favorites over there. I've been in the Philippines, I've been to Australia. Don't be there. Get there.
Were you ever scared of dying?
No. I've never put in a position where I thought, not in Vietnam, I prayed every day. I went a year over, I was only there for a year. But never got into a position where I was, really thought my life was in. I feel great. Yes, ma'am.
If you could go back and do it all again, would you?
Yes. Yeah. So if I hadn't done that, I'd probably be milking cows in South Dakota at my uncle's place. Yes, sir.
Okay, I want to follow up a question you had earlier about education, staying in school and joining the military. I don't know how it was in the 60s. I think at least now you have to at least have a high school education, I think, because the job's getting more, like, more technology. I would think you would be.
You may be correct. I don't know if they still accept GED.
Well, that would be equivalent to high school.
Something like that.
So they have to stay, if you want to join the military, you have to stay in school. You need to at least have a
Oh, yeah.
high school education.
Was the military hard?
Boot camp?
All of it.
No.
Not when you're 19,
No.
18. You can do it.
No, I didn't try to get into the Navy SEALs or anything. That's tough.
That's very fine.
I was happy with the training there. But before I went to Vietnam, we had fear training. Survival, escape, and invasion. Out in the California desert. That wasn't something I really liked.
What type of creatures did you see when you were traveling for that?
Well, I saw a kangaroo down in Australia. But most of the time when we pulled into port, it was just a city. And we took tours around the city and stuff. I saw camels when I was over by Morocco. Monkeys in the Philippines, but they eat monkeys. It depends on where you are in the world. My son was in the army, he was stationed in Korea for a while. They don't. Yeah. So you look at the minions, you know, it's Charlie. Yes, sir.
So I always hear you say this, like, so when you were in the Navy, like, you would always have to wait 5 hours. Like, you'd have to get like 5 hours early before like you started like something like that. Training 30 minutes or something like that.
I don't have a clue what you're talking about.
Like about 50% of it. It's like you get
Oh,
like
Chris.
yeah.
He's a ball player. He wasn't in the Navy.
No, like
We'll talk about that later.
What training did you have to go through to get into the Navy?
Well, just basic military training. There's a lot of push-ups and all that, but there's weapon training. You want to know what field you want to go in. You want to go into the medical field, you want to go into aviation, whatever. And they generally have, they'll take your company to boot camp, and different people get different training. But there's a lot of training that everybody. Did you remember now, Jacob?
that is a question.
What?
It's a different question.
Different question.
So when you were training, what did you shoot like any different kind of guns while you're in like the Navy?
Oh yeah, M76 grenade launcher. They had a little, looked like a little Grumman outhouse. And we're supposed to launch these grenades and get them by the outhouse. But I kind of messed that up. I launched it too high and I blew it up. So it wasn't an outdoor toilet, but they were about that big. Yeah, so they had to get another one, bring it out to the field. But we, you know, regular weapons, 45 and all that, but none of them were issued to us at the end of boot camp. We went home and we left weapons there.
Since you traveled a lot, was like jet lag a common thing for you?
No. I don't, even today, I don't like riding. If I'm gonna go on a couple of drive.
When you said the Vietnam were washing stuff down the river and you had to like take it out and stuff like that, like I know you said they were washing weapons and like stuff like that. Why would they be doing that?
They're bringing, the only thing I mean, are bringing weapons and ammunition down the river to supply the North Vietnamese that they have down in the southern part of the country. There used to be a road called the Ho Chi Minh Trail, but the Air Force bombed the heck out of it. So they said, I'll come down the river. So when they start coming down the river, the Navy said, no, we're not going to do that. And so that's what we had to do, patrol the river. I need
Two volunteers?
2 volunteers, one of each gender.
Go with Sophie. And we're gonna go with Caleb. Or Colin, I'm sorry, Colin.
You want to raise your right hand and repeat after me. Good and loud so the class can hear. I state your name, your full name.
Sophie Ann Zabianik.
Michael Baudet.
You solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
or affirm
or affirm
that I will support
that I will support
and defend
and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear
that I will bear
true faith and allegiance
true faith and allegiance
to the same,
to the same,
and I will obey the orders
and I will obey the orders
of the President of the United States
of the President of the United States
and the orders of the officers
and the order of the officers
appointed over me,
appointed over me,
according to regulations
according to regulations
and the Uniform Code of Military Justice.
and the Uniform Code of Military Justice.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Can you put your hand down? What do you have planned for the next 3 or 4 days?
I have no idea.
Spend time with your family. Because Friday you're going to San Diego. You just enlisted in the Navy. You can go back to Tennessee. No, that's for you.
Bring that home to your mom and dad, let them know.
I found, it must have been 10 or 15 years ago, I was working, I think it was the for-profit store. I was working with the teacher Jack over here in St. Albert. Some students that need a little extra bit.
Yeah.
Jackie, the teacher, challenged all the students to write a poem. Write a poem that when you read it, you say, that's me. When somebody else reads it, oh, that is you. So, the kids said if they had to take a challenge, so did I. So I wrote a poem. Let me know when you send it to me. Long ago, I was a sailor. I sailed the ocean blue. I knew the bars in Singapore and the coastline of Peru. I knew well the sting of salt spray, the taste of Spanish wine, the beauty of the Orient. Yes, all these things were mine. I wear a different hat now, a tie and jacket too. My sailing days were long ago. With that life I am through. But somewhere deep inside me, the sailor lives there still. He longs to go to sea again, but he knows he never will. My love, my life is here at home, and I will leave here never. But my mind and body stay ashore. My heart's at sea forever. That's my little poem. It took me about 4 or 5 months to write that. Every time I would get a line and something else would come up and no, I don't fit right.
We appreciate your time, that's for sure, Shane. I think Jake's gonna kind of wrap this up here. I think we owe you a whole lot of gratitude for the service you gave our country. And I think we're trying to teach all these kids, you know, with Veterans Day coming up and us being involved with it, we think it's very important to take the time out of our day to thank people like yourself that have made the sacrifice.
We need to take time out to spend time with the students. We can't just say, I'm at this age and they're here.
Right.
Thank you for coming to our class and speaking today. We have all learned a lot from your experience in the Navy. We have the Veterans Day is coming up. We have a Veterans Day breakfast that we would love for you to come to join us on the 10th at 9:15 to 10:15. We also have a Team USA bracelet from our team.
Thank you. That'd be great.
Look at a picture with your grandfather there.
I've worn that bracelet for 40 years. Not the same one, but he was one of the pilots who was shot down over Vietnam. And I knew him, David Callahan. And back in the Vietnam War, these breakfasts were really going.
Right.
So I picked up David Callahan just because I knew him. Years later, you know where he lives?
Is he really?
Yeah.
How do you
I've been down
connect?
to Sharon, I've seen his name on the wall from
Yeah.
just by chance.
Wow. That's really,
I wanted to ask one last question. Is there any like of your children who joined the military or the Navy after you?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Any, beside you, is there any of your children or family member who joined the Navy or the military?
My son, one of my many kids. My son Christopher joined the Army, and he did 2 trips to Afghanistan. He was wounded, Purple Heart. He spent 9 years in the Army, and then they kind of forced him out because of PTSD. He lives down in Corpus Christi, Texas right now. He's very involved with the Wounded Warrior Program and veterans. But he's the only one in my family. He's Army, 10th Mountain Division.
All right, let's get a picture of Jake.
Smile.
You can smile, Jake.
Man, you didn't take it.
Jake, you get a look here, huh? All right.
Jake the Snake.
Thank you.